I'm Niki Shafer. I'm a fifth grade teacher at North Freedom Elementary in North Freedom, Wisconsin, and I can't wait to tell you all about Riding Freedom. Riding Freedom is about a young, courageous girl named Charlotte, who unfortunately loses her parents when she's a baby and ends up being raised in a boys' orphanage. Now, Charlotte dreams of riding horses and training horses, but as a girl growing up in the 1800s, they have different expectations for her until Charlotte comes up with a plan to help her live her dream. Because in fifth grade, we spend a lot of time talking about US history, I think this book would be great to be used so that it could tie in with what they're already learning about during this time frame. There are tons of research possibilities that would go along with it. There is the gold rush, there's the Pony Express, there's women's suffrage, there's slavery. Like, it's so rich with history that students could read nonfiction accounts of those same historical events and maybe present to the class so they could get some background on how those events affected both the people of the time and the character that they're reading about, Charlotte and Vern and all of their friends. Another lesson you could do is related to social emotional learning and the idea of gender stereotypes. Charlotte has a lot of expectations on her because she's a girl, but she doesn't want to live up to all of those expectations. So students could really look at what expectations are there for boys and girls and what stereotypes are there and how did Charlotte kind of defy all of those. And then they could take it another step further and they could look at how have they defied any gender stereotypes in their life. There is a great passage in the book where Charlotte is first making her physical transformation into Charlie. And she's by the river and she's cutting off her hair and having this attachment to it that she didn't think she had. And then she looks at her reflection and sees this young boy reflected back at her. And I just think it would be really neat for students to make that text to text connection when characters really do transform. And it doesn't have to be a physical transformation. Oftentimes it's emotional or intellectual. There are some really neat illustrations in Riding Freedom, and they're like pencil drawn or charcoal. And it would be really neat to see if the kids could either recreate one of the illustrations that's already in the book or pick a different moment, maybe their favorite moment from the book, and create an illustration that could potentially be another addition to what is already there. One way that Riding Freedom could be used in the classroom is an exploration of character traits. Now, my fifth graders already know what character traits are, but they could use their inferring skills along with it, making a character chart, finding some inferred character traits, and then having to go back and find text evidence to support where they are seeing those traits show up. If I had to come up with one word that would describe Charlotte or Charlie in the book, it would definitely be perseverance. She had to overcome so many obstacles to chase her dream. And I'd love for my students to gain onto that idea that they can conquer anything as long as they continue working and trying hard. This book is great for social emotional learning, historical context, and the idea of perseverance. I really hope you and your students enjoy this book as much as my students and I did.